everybody. So today I am going to show you the part one pre-drawing activity that goes along with our Mary Blair Victorian home illustrations. So for today, all you will need is a pencil, a white sheet of paper. You can either print out or just bring up on your Chromebook these two handouts, the one of the photograph of the blue Victorian home, and then the handout that has the four illustrations. And then in addition, you're going to need a piece of colored paper. If you don't have access to construction paper at home, that's okay. You could spend some time turning just a blank piece of white paper into colored paper by taking your crayon or paint across it. That actually might really look really cool because it's going to add some texture to your artwork, so it'd be really unique and different. All right. So the first step that we need to do today is we need to take a look at this photograph. So we have learned through our Google Slides all of the different details that we find in Victorian homes. Victorian homes are multiple stories. They have porches, gables, turrets, and gingerbread details. So we are going to be breaking this house down into very simple shapes so that we can be successful in drawing it. And how we are going to do that is by using triangles, rectangles, and squares. So I'm really going to focus on having this example in front of me. And I'm actually going to show you exactly what I mean by drawing right on top of this paper. So I just have a black marker so you can really see what I'm doing. You can use a pencil. But I am going to break up, I'm going to pick this house right here. I'm going to break this house up into really simple shapes so that when I go to draw my Victorian house, I am just building shapes on top of shapes, kind of like building a castle out of blocks or a Victorian house out of blocks. So if I take a look at this home here, I can see that the main part of the house is a rectangle. So that would be my base. Then I have on my porch a triangle here and a line that comes across. Up here, I have a rectangle for the tower and a triangle for the turret. The gable is really just a triangle on top of a rectangle. Then that's our main, the front of the house. Behind the house, you're going to see a couple more shapes. So we have a rectangle there, another rectangle here. Just the point of a triangle in the background because we can't see the rest of it. It's behind these blocks. Another rectangle here and a square there. So as you can see, my house is really just, like I said, rectangles, squares, and triangles. So when I go to draw a house, I am going to use those three shapes to create my house. So I am going to start with my paper. I'm going to have a nice tall house, so I want my paper portrait. And I'm going to start by drawing a large rectangle for my first floor. Now I think I'm going to have a nice tower that comes up the middle. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, this long tall one, right here in the middle. And then I'm going to have a turret on top. So I'm going to start with the triangle here. Then I'm going to add, and I kind of like the details that I see in this one with you have like the 3 stories here and then the 2 stories here. So I think I'm going to bring in a square there. And then I'm going to add a big triangle on top. And I'm going to come over on this side and do the same thing. Square here and triangle on top. All right. So there is the main section of my house. I have my first story, my second story, my tower, and my gables and turret. Now I can go in and add some more layers to it and kind of erase some things and straighten some things up. So I think I want to have a nice added like porch on the side of it. So I'm going to have this come out kind of more of a rhombus shape, just comes out, and then a line that comes down. So there's a um, little porch off the side of it there. And then over here, I want to change the roof line. So I'm going to cut the top off and then come down because I want a square roof line. And this is where I'm just going to X this out. You could erase it, but I'm just going to put an X on it so I know when I go to draw on my paper that I'm going to be cutting out, I know I don't want that point there. I like how that looks. Minus, I think I'm going to bring this out a little bit. And all I'm doing is sketching, so it is okay if my lines are not perfect. It is okay if things are overlapped and I have X's. This is really just a pre-drawing activity. It's not our final product by any means. It's just our warm-up. All right, so I actually really kind of like the way my house plan is starting to come out. So I have my cable there and there, my tower. Oh, you know what? I think I'm also going to bring a little roof line back behind here just to give it some more depth. And that way it looks like those gables are coming out from there. All right, so now that I have drawn my house with my building blocks, I am going to redraw this on my blue paper. And now I am going to be using marker to do this. I'd really recommend that you draw on your paper with pencil because if you make a mistake, you can erase pencil, you cannot erase the marker. But I'm going to draw with the marker because I want to show you exactly what I'm doing. So I am going to draw my blocks just like I did on my white paper, but on my blue paper. Square there. Comes up to a third floor. Rectangle there. Another square here. I have the triangle there. Triangle there. The trapezoid there because I don't want the point on it, and I remember from my X over here that I did not want that point there. I have my roof in the background, another trapezoid back there. I have part of my rhombus here, and then a rectangle that comes down. All right, so there I just kind of cleaned up my block drawing a little bit, and now I am ready to cut this out. So this is day one. My plan now is to just cut this out, make sure that I like the way it looks, and stay tuned for day two, part two, where we will start moving from having just some blocks to an actual Victorian house.